it is with some trepidation that I stand up here to tell you how to do it, because in fact, there is no fixed formula for starting a successful embedded vision company, and anyone who says they know how to do it is a fool or lying or both. But I have had some experiences, and I've been looking closely, especially over the last year, at what are some of the things that are fundamentally happening, both in the embedded vision space and in the startup space, that may be worth sharing with you. What motivates it especially is, in fact, a single simple explosion that you're already experiencing in a big way. And that explosion is cheap imaging, cheap vision. It's what makes it possible that the population of sensors, of image sensors, has crossed over the population of humans, and so that we have now billions of sensors that lack eyeballs to interpret or consume what they're producing. And in fact, they're producing something on the order of 10,000 petabytes per second of new data that by itself isn't going anywhere. No eyeballs are looking at it. Nobody wants to store it. Nobody wants to put it on their network. You have to do something with it, or it's just useless pixels. And that opportunity to go do something interesting with all of those pixels that we're theoretically capable of capturing is, in some sense, the driving force behind this embedded vision revolution. And more generally, it's one of the driving forces, in fact, behind AI. So this is a visual outline of this talk. I'm going to give some really basic stuff about what are the key ingredients for startups, independent of the domain. And in particular, talk briefly about this emerging idea of the lean startup and contrast that to the old school startup. And there are some important differences that affect how you raise money, what kind of product you build, what kind of markets you pursue. And it's an opportunity to go figure out, in the context of embedded vision, which are the things that apply. Because not everything about the old school method, not everything about the new lean method actually is going to work if we look at the startups that get started tomorrow, next year, and the years after. And then particularly look at two populations, the population of vision startups and the population of what I'd call cognitive computing startups, deep learning, neural network, AI. There's a lot of overlap between the two, but it's useful to kind of break it down a little bit to understand what's happening in the overlap, what's outside of the overlap. And I'll finish with just a few general observations and, more importantly, caveats about some of the things to consider as you go out and start your next company, or you're going to go fund some startup, or you're going to buy from a startup. There are a lot of things about that environment that are probably worth looking at.